Okay, so the keto diet is basically a low carb, high fat diet with moderate protein. So the ketogenic diet has actually been around for a really long time. It just was popularized in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Anyways, so there's a group called the Inuit. I actually learned about this in class, and they were around between the 17th and the 18th century. And they actually lived off of animal fat because they weren't able to produce any produce whatsoever. It was mainly ice where they lived, so they relied on animal blubber and meat. That's pretty much all they ate. So they were actually able to survive on this, and a lot of people think that we need carbs for energy, but they were functioning perfectly fine without any of the carbs. So I would say the early beginning of keto was really popularized in the early 1920s, early 1900s, just because it was started to be used as a treatment for epilepsy. There's actually a doctor by the name of Russell Wilder. He went on and tested this out on children to try and treat their epilepsy, and it was pretty positive, and it did have good effects on the children, but it was really hard to change some of their diets, so that became unpopularized. But in the 1970s, there's this guy named Atkins. Dr. Atkins was actually a cardiologist, and then he developed his book on ketogenic diet, so how to eat high fat, low carb, and he called it the Atkins diet. So then we have Dr. Finney. He comes along and he also makes a program centered on fat and protein. So there's still a low carb diet, but high fat, high protein. And then in the early 2000s, Atkins diet becomes super popular and it starts to take off in this very drastic increase. And then probably about 2010, in that area, celebrities, they start to do the ketogenic diet, but they're noticing that they're able to lose weight rapidly while on this diet. So that's what really gets it popularized now. But we're starting to realize that it does have more benefits than just weight loss, and it is something that a lot of us should probably start doing. So for me personally, I started the ketogenic diet because we started talking about how keto basically it gets rid of the fat in your body. And me, I personally have endometriosis, so I'm trying to just decrease the amount of fat in my body, hoping that it will also decrease my estrogen levels and thus making my symptoms not as severe. And I have had positive results on that, which is very good. Like, I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. But while going through this diet, for a person who loves pasta, breads, carbs, all that stuff, it was really hard trying to make this transition. But I'm a lot better now. Some of the tips I have realized is to meal prep is going to be your biggest friend. Also, making sure you have ketogenic snacks like snack cheese, bacon, nuts, eggs. I eat eggs so much now, like it's ridiculous. But making sure that you're well prepared in foods that have high amounts of fats is going to benefit you the most. Also, trying to make a switch from high carb items such as like sugar, trying to do like sugar replacement. That's helped me a lot. Getting zero sugar coffee creamers and stuff like that has also benefited me a lot. I've also switched up some of my protein sources, so I'm mainly eating a lot of beef because it's higher in fat than chicken is, and I'm eating a lot of pork as well. But meal prepping has been the number one thing I recommend if you are to go on a ketogenic diet. And then making sure that you're also getting an adequate protein and you're still staying in low carb so you can be in ketogenesis. One thing I have noticed while being on keto is that I have so much more energy and I'm not so weighed down. I have way less brain fog. I feel like I can, think a lot quicker about things and I can focus a lot better. Before I would just start an assignment and then I would not complete it because I would just start focusing on something else. But once I switched to a ketogenic diet, I've definitely noticed a great improvement in my academic performance. So for me personally, when I went on keto, I wasn't trying to lose any weight. It was really strictly for endometriosis. I just wanted to decrease the amount of fat that I have stored in my body. So I was consuming still around like 1,600 to 1,800 calories a day. My protein was about 112 to 115 grams a day. Carbs was about 25 grams a day, not net, but sometimes I did do net keto, and I did do like not net keto, just total carbs. Anyways, and then my fats was about 140 grams a day. My sodium definitely increased a lot, especially when I first started keto. I got the keto flu, and once Dr. Hyde told me to just eat some damn salt, I felt so much better. So my sodium did increase as well throughout this diet. Sugar decreased dramatically, but yeah, and I was able to build muscle while I was consuming those macronutrients. I didn't really focus on my micronutrients all that much because I really just cared about fats and proteins and low carb, if I'm going to be honest.